some reason I can't make this zip tie work. That's embarrassing, huh? Jeez, why don't you try to get some in the cup there, regular guy? Oh no! Messed that one up. You make a complete mess of that too. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. And we're back, regular viewers, and with 200 subscribers. This is unbelievable. Thank you so much for everybody who's liked, commented, and subscribed. I just can't believe the amount of support we're getting for you watching these hands. How weird. But today, we're going to talk about hover strolling. You know, the latest and greatest fishing secret that nobody knows about, but everybody knows about, and everybody does videos about. So when I told the regular editor about what I was going to do this week, she said, is that like something from the Jetsons? And I was like, no, it's not. She's like, is it like a hoverboard? And I was like, if only, but it's not. No, the hover stroll is the latest new trend in how to catch overfished fish that is just sweeping the nation. It's been going on for quite a while. It's not anything new, but I did see that some people have come up with some funky ways of how to rig their lures. They take their little hooks, they'll bend up the eye, they'll put in a nail weight, they'll do all sorts of that. And some guys have actually made a specific lure where you can take your nondescript, plastic that's pretty lackluster and embed a jig head into it. And then I realized, wait, I kind of already have something like that. And this week, I'm going to show you how I made it. Okay, so my regular assistant's going to clean this up while I get the rest of the tools for this week's project. We're going to be using DAP Plaster of Paris. That's right. You thought we were done with it. Well, think again. We're also going to use a nondescript piece of wood. You can find these on Monday morning, usually on the back of anybody's yard sale signs they've left out in the middle of the street. We're also going to be making a mold, a top pour mold, little two-piece deal, kind of like this one right here. And the whole point of that is we are going to take a jig head and we're going to be able to suspend it in here while we pour our plastic over it, making ourselves a lure with an embedded jig head in it that's going to do that sweet little death spiral of the hover stroll that everybody's hoped and dreamed about. So the secret to this whole thing, this whole apparatus right here, is just 2 pieces of wire, folks. That's how easy it is. You guys can do this yourself. I put one here to hold the eye above the level of the 2-part mold. And then I made up this little curly Q right here, which holds the hook in the appropriate place as well. And with their powers combined, you can see that, they're going to hold that hook right above our line, the top of the mold, so that when we pour our soft plastic in it, we're going to have it embedded in there, and it's going to do everything you want it to do and nothing else. So we're going to take our piece of wood right here, and if our regular assistant can hand me an appropriate size measuring device, I guess that's appropriate. We're going to make ours 3 inches. What do you say?
Yes.
All right, 3 inches. Oh, luckily it's a square, so we can easily get ourselves a nice straight line. How fancy is that, huh? All right, there you go, regular assistant. Thank you very much. So from here, we're going to draw out a fish shape. Anything that you want. The key is, though, for a 2-part top pour mold. 2-part top pour mold. Can you say that? 2-part top pour mold. Say it one more time.
2-part top pour mold.
Nope, can't do it. You're fired. Okay. So this has to be the top line up here because this is where the mold is going to split, much like this one right here. Ta-da! Okay, so we're going to make a fish kind of like this. This one's a paddle tail. The one we're making right here is not a paddle tail. I don't know why I always have to go for such a deep-bellied fish. We're going to bring that belly back up. Put him on a diet. What do you say?
Sure.
Sure? Okay, a little less carbs for this guy right here. Probably what the regular guy needs too, right?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh, how sweet. Okay. All right, so we'll go just like kind of that little guy right there. Make a nice little swoopy sweepy to him. Hopefully that you can see that. And this is going to be the tail section right here. We're going to make this look fancier. And we might put a little fin on the side of him right there. All right, just very simple little swoopy fish shape. So we're over here at the regular vise, and my regular assistant is going to cut this off because this piece of wood is too long. It's running into the regular freezer. All right, so cut that off for me. And do you have your safety glasses on?
Yes, sir.
All right, good job. High five. Yes, my regular assistant was able to cut off this so it was a more appropriate size. I kind of cleaned this up a little bit so you could see it a little easier, and I put a smile on it so that you could tell he was happy about becoming a fishing lure, right? So we're going to take our little jigsaw and we're going to get going. Okay, so we got our shape here kind of cut out. Now we're going to take our bench sander. I think some of you noticed, I don't know if you did, but I think some of you may have noticed that this is not actually a bench sander. But we're going to take it here, we're going to shape it down. Okay, so we've got this pretty well sanded the way we wanted. Now we're just going to work on the tail over at the bench grinder. Okay, so this is what we got so far, just a basic fish pattern. I'm going to work on this tail, and again, this is a top pour mold, so the top has to be nice and flat. We're going to kind of thin this area out over here towards the back. I'm going to put a little bit of more detail on this, and maybe put in some fins over here as well. I was thinking about putting in an eye hole once I get the final shape in there, and what I mean by that is, like on this mold right here, a little inset that you drill into it so that you can later on press an eye into it.
My mouth is shut.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to drill an eye in this thing here. And this is kind of like a pilot hole that we're going to put in it. I'm ultimately going to use this really dull Forstner bit to cut in that eye hole. But to find it on the other side, sometimes when I'm trying to be crafty, I will cut it like this all the way through. All the way through. And hopefully that will be square on the other side, so that when we put our Forstner bit in, we'll be able to get the hole in the same spot on both sides. Hopefully. So now we're going to try and get this eye cut. That's it. Now we're going to flip it over and see if we can't get the symmetric hole, however you say that, symmetric hole on the other side. All right, so we have our eyes cut in here. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Say it.
Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2.
All right, they're relatively symmetrical, except for the fact the fish wasn't symmetrical, so you can see the sides in a little bit further. But will the bass notice?
No, sir.
No, probably because it won't get in front of a bass, but that's another story. So, what are you laughing at? Okay, so what we're going to draw here is a simple gill pattern, and by simple I mean a V, the simplest gill pattern out there. We'll do it all on the other side too. Okay, V, 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 Vavoom. Okay, and we're actually going to draw a little fin here. You can see this fish isn't really symmetrical because its space doesn't exist the same way on both sides, but we'll make it work. Okay, and then back here on this tail, we still gotta do some work. I don't think I want the tail this big. Maybe just a little like that.
Maybe we could cut it.
Maybe something like that. I don't know. I do a terrible job at fin rays. I don't know. Maybe it'll exist somewhere over there. But that's about all the detail we need, and that's probably too much. I don't even know if these fins are going to make it to the final cut, as it were, but we'll see. So I'm going to get doing some sanding and some carving on this, and while I'm doing that, the regular editor, would you please?
Cue the music!
Thank you. All right, the regular assistant was having some fun pretending to film here, but I was going to just talk about this real quick. This is my fancy carving knife. You can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on carving equipment, or you can do like the regular guy did, and you can find one of these box cutting knives on the side of the freeway, usually in the breakdown lane, early in the morning so you don't get run over. So when I replace the blade, this is the only bit I wanted to show you here in case you didn't think of this yourself. I write new and old. You probably don't even have to write old, but I write new on that side so that when it is in here, for my simple mind, I can remember that the blade, when I go to turn it, is still good on that side. So if you're a smart man and you know what knives are, then you don't have to worry about it. But some of simple folks like me, I need a reminder, because by the time I'm ready to switch the blade out, I've forgotten what side it was on. So, whammo slammo. All right. And let's watch your little pause while I'm trying to cut here. Yeah, the regular editor would get really mad at me if I cut you on the finger. So, now we're going to cue the music for real, right? Right?
Yes.
For real?
Sir. Yes,
For real,
sir.
cue the music. So,
Yes.
regular editor, please, for real, cue the music.
Regular for real, cue the music.
All right, thank you. All right. Let's see what we've got. So we did all our sanding. We did some carving, I guess. And just so you guys know, I do not believe that I am good at carving. I don't think I'm a carverist, or whatever you would call that. Could see this really is not symmetrical. Maybe he's just turning right a lot. I don't know. But you can see we got a gill pattern, we got a fin, and a gill and a fin. That's close enough for me. I put the fin rays in the mold rather than on the lure in the plaster molds. That's always worked out better for me. So that's what we're going to do. So next we're going to coat this in our favorite mold release, polyurethane, and we're going to go from there. Okay, so we've got our friend All. Say hi to All.
Hi, y'all.
You said hi, y'all.
No, I said hi, all.
Okay, so we're going to poke a little head in and put a little hole in his head. Don't worry, he don't feel it, though.
Because he's just wood.
That's right. Okay, and we already cracked it right there, so we'll back it off just a little bit because that'll seal still. All
And the
right.
bass won't even notice it.
There you go. And now it's on there. So we're going to get our polyurethane.
Which is over there. And dip it in. I know where
We're going
that.
to shake up our mostly used up, probably no good, probably should be replaced polyurethane.
No, it shouldn't.
But why start now? Wait till you see this mess. Nobody's ever seen polyurethane like this. Look at that. It is like hard. There's some in there, I swear. There we go.
Oh, that's gross.
That's gross? Okay, we got a little bit.
Okay, I can dip him in. Once you're ready.
Maybe I should spend a few dollars and replace this. What do you think?
No.
Why start now, right?
Yeah. When you have a whole bucket of polyurethane to use.
Now we're going to hang that and let it dry, all right? Just like that. Thumbs up. All right, so while that's drying, and we're not really changing gears here, but I do have some bonus bait footage for you. Free of charge this week, bonus bait footage. This is an old jig head that I just redid, just silver spray paint, some eyes on it, and I put on a metal weed guard, and this was a swim jig that my friend was using, and it broke, and I was like, oh, let me see that. I will fix it up for you and make it brand new. So here on the side, it's got hooks to keep the plastic on it, and there's the skirt on it. So what we're going to do, actually, I want a white tie wrap for that. Okay, that's not white, but that's as close as I could get right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this out, straighten these out real quick. I'm sure there's a better way that you guys have out there to do this. Feel free to leave it in the contacts below, or the contacts on the comments, right? Am I trying to say comments?
Comets.
Comets, like in space?
No.
Not in space.
The ones that you type in.
Oh, comments, not comets.
That's what I
What
was
am I
trying
doing?
to say.
Trying to do this, okay. For some reason I can't make this zip tie work. That's embarrassing, huh?
You're
There we
getting
go.
used to it.
I got used to zip ties,
You're getting
Okay.
used to it, though. Something like that.
but I want to drag this down because I want a little more
Detail.
skirt on that end of it and less on the other.
Oh, I see what it
Yep,
is.
just kind of twist it around a little bit.
Twist it, twist it, twist,
Yep,
twist.
and it evens itself out.
The twisters.
The twisters.
Now we're gonna do the old twisters.
Okay. Okay. Then we take our little snipper-doos and
Snipperdoos.
snipper-do it.
Poof! There it is.
Okay, so we got ourselves a brand new swim jig.
Swim jigs.
Swim jig, okay. Just like that. We'll take this guy here.
Cut. Scissors. Oh. Oh, you're gonna fill that with water.
We're going to give him just a little bit of a haircut. We're going to use the cup here just to catch all the,
Glitter.
all the leftovers.
I said glitter. Instead of these
Okay,
little things.
there we go. Brand new swim jig. And it's just that easy.
Mm-hmm. And we also
So here is a
lipless crankbait.
lipless crankbait that the other regular assistant made. All right, so we're going to clean this out. We're going to get hooks on that. This is another one that I painted right here.
Crankbaits.
Here's another lipless
Three
crankbait. that we
lipless
painted up.
crankbaits.
Yep. Sometimes those pliers little vice grips get stuck to it.
Vice grips.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Oh no, I should have cut it.
no. Okay.
Rats. I just ruined the whole thing.
You can
Oh.
repaint it though.
I can fix it. Don't worry,
The
folks.
bats won't even notice it.
That's
either.
right.
Those
Okay.
are my favorite.
And then
ones.
there's this guy. And I forgot
He's
an
my
important
favorite.
step on the last one, guys. That was a rookie mistake, but you can't redo it. You take your razor and you just cut around top there. I should have done that, right?
Yes.
Terrible
but the bats
example.
won't even notice it.
Terrible example.
The bats
Okay.
won't even think about looking at that. They'll just go, done.
And there it
There
goes.
it is.
Much better. Okay. So this looks oddly suspiciously familiar to one that I made in the last video.
I remember
And the reason
it.
is is because I lost it on the second cast, believe it or not. My line snapped, it went sailing off into oblivion.
And he made a new one.
Yes.
And this is also my favorite.
And I couldn't get to it. It was sitting in the water out there, just like this, just the tail sticking up, and then it went under. And I know this sounds like a fish story, but it's true. About a minute later, a pretty big bass jumped out of the water with this thing in its mouth. Never saw it again. You have no video of that. I don't have one of those cool fish camera, fishing cameras, but that is what happened. I promise you, I swear that that's how it got lost. So I made up another one really quickly, so because I liked how it worked. But that's our bonus bait footage for the week. Okay, we're back on Operation Hover Stroll. I guess I should show you the lure. So we have carved it and sanded it, and I have actually tried to hone out the eyes a little more. I'm going to try an experiment, see if it will come out of the mold a little nicer if these are more spherical edges, I guess. I guess that would be concave? Is that what that's called? Something like that. I don't know. And see if it'll come out of the mold a little nicer that way, rather than just like, like a Forstner bit that's kind of like, straight down, 90 degrees at the bottom, that kind of thing. So we will see. But we've got our mold, made in America, and I've got it with a little coffer dam in there, I guess, and it's going to sit with your big hands in the way, just right there. That's going to be a lot of extra mold. That's okay, because our dear friend, Plaster of Paris, is fairly inexpensive. So we got plenty of need for it there, so it's no problem. Or I don't know what I'm trying to say. We got plenty of it. That's what I'm trying to say. We've got our marbles over here for locators, and we're just going to add some of our other friend, petroleum jelly, with our fancy dancy petroleum jelly applicator. Again, it acts as a mold release, but also it's kind of going to hopefully seal this at the bottom so that the plaster doesn't kind of spill through. I have a well ventilated area, so you don't have to worry about that. As far as the plaster goes, we'll turn the fan up just a skosh for you, so that the regular viewers here at home don't get any dust in their house. So hold your breath. Jeez, why don't you try to get some in the cup there, regular guy? So I'm going to put this over here on my air compressor and try to get these bubbles out. Be right back. Okay, so some of it's kind of gone under the little coffer dam there when you put it on the air compressor because of all the vibration. And you can see all those bubbles that come to the top. But don't worry, regular fans. We've got a brush, and we can kind of brush them away. I got a comment that suggests to do this. I'm sorry I can't remember who left it, but they were just a wonderful, talented, and splendid individual, and I thank them for that because it worked like a charm. So this is our fish. We're going to put a little bit of petroleum jelly all the way around it so that it is will come out of there. Come out of the mold when we're done. Maybe I could do that on camera, regular guy. Why start now? Just notice my fingers. I've been working out here in the shop. I just don't always look like this. Sometimes I look much worse. Okay, so we're going to drop that in like that, and then we'll move it around, and we're going to use a straw to create a vacuum and pull the air through so that plaster takes up that void on the other side. Okay, and we'll be back when that's all ready to go. So our hover stroller has dried. I keep getting the song stuck in my head. It's about a Tootsie Roll, and I didn't even like it. But every time I say, like, let's see that hover stroll. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so we've taken out our locators. So now we can make the other half of the locators. We're going to get the dust out of there. Made in America. And now we are going to apply a generous coat of our petroleum jelly. What I'm doing here is I noticed that tail kind of kicked up a little bit. So I'm trying to stuff some petroleum jelly under it so that the mold doesn't, or this side of the mold doesn't just go under it. Kind of what's nice about the petroleum jelly. It's, you can kind of mold it in the mold when you're molding. We're going to again use our air compressor over here, get these bubbles out, and then I'll be back for the great unboxing. Okay, so we're back. Our mold has set up. It's not ready to use yet, but it's ready enough to unbox for you. So we're going to pull this guy out. Take that out for me, regular assistant. Thank you. Okay, now let's get our screw gun out. Okay. Hold on, we'll slow down. Nice and slow. Not a girl. Oh, slow down. Slow down.
Magnet.
The magnet.
Magnet. There's a magnet right here.
Magnet. Okay.
Magnet. Next. You're next. I'll get you out. Help me, they say.
Job. Okay.
Yay, free.
Oh, gentle. Slow down.
Oh, okay.
Slow down. Press, press, press. Yep. You need
I'm
help?
pressing.
Let me help you. Oh, slow down. Slow down. Gentle, easy trigger. Atta girl. Okay.
Oh, that's kind of rusty guy. Okay.
Okay, now.
Now do it to the bottom. You can do this one. Okay, get out of there.
I'm going to go nice and slow. It's okay. Slow down. Okay, nice and slow.
You can do those two. Boom. Falls off. You have to screw this out. Come on, get out of there.
We'll unscrew it a little more. Thought we could slide it out. Let's not do it wrong. Okay. There you go. Take it out for me, nice and gently. There you go. Okay. Hold on. Hold on.
Such.
Yep, got a little warm. That's good though. Okay.
Pull.
Gentle.
Gently.
Still pretty fragile right now, so.
So maybe we should wait.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I got some.
Thank you very much. Okay. Okay,
Got
look
this
out, baby.
out. Pull gently. So then you don't break your plaster of Paris. There we go.
All right. Looks good. We got our fin. We got our eye. Came out nice. Okay. You can keep that. Go play with that out there.
Now I'm going to put it back in.
Okay. We're going to use our friend All.
Hi, All.
Hi, All.
Hi, All.
Drop that marker off into oblivion. There we go. Came out on that side too.
I found it.
That came out really well.
Here's Mr. Marker.
Okay. So our fish came out really well. We only had one little piece that came off in that eye.
Mm-hmm.
But that is okay.
But they're not level 2.
Well, no, they're fine though. So we put them together, and there's our void.
And
so we're going to let this dry overnight, and then tomorrow we're going to try and pour it, okay?
Okay.
All right?
I think it's going to be great.
I'm glad you think it's going to be great. All right. Thumbs up. Thank you. All right, we're back, regular viewers, and now the end of the Operation Hover Stroll. What you see before you is the end of a fishing trip here. These are some of the hover strolls that I made and I got to use today. These are two of the survivors, or what's left of them, after catching some of these. I found this at the boat ramp. If you've never seen an alligator gar, this is half of the lower jaw, and half the teeth are missing too. Apparently he didn't have a good dental plan. So that's why it's so important to floss. Look at that right there. Look at the gingivitis and everything. Jeez. Anyway, so yeah, today I was just getting murdered by gar. This guy here that I made in the lipless crankbait video, he's all scratched up. Can you feel that? Feel the scratches?
Yeah, that is quite the scratch.
And he tore, and I got all the hooks tore off. I got one of them back. The guard jumped right at the side of the boat and got hung up on the side of the boat for a second and tore that back hook off, but not before he tore the other ones off. So anyway, so that's part of that carnage here. This is some of the swim worms we used today. Little shad got his tail eaten, and the paintbrush lure just got plumb wore out. So that's where we are. But anyway, I also just wanted to show you guys, just perusing around the boat ramp today. I got a big old catfish hook, a nice diamond weight. I got this weight here, this rig, and apparently this was made in China. But the reason I collect these is this is where I get the lead for my lead pot. So unfortunately, a lot of fishermen are pigs, and they leave trash around the boat ramps. Not to mention the miles of line that I picked up and threw away. But if you're ever out and about, pick this garbage up. If you can recycle it, use it again, melt it down. If not, just throw it away. We found this big popping cork too. So these here will get cut up and recycled. We'll reduce, reuse, remelt, and relax when we go fishing. So that's what all that junk is about. But now, the conclusion of our project. When last we left off, we were making this mold. My regular assistant helped me get it out of the mold. We got that wasn't supposed to happen. This is the mold master here, and this is our mold. So came out very nice, very solid. It's been drying for a little bit, but as you can see, I did get to use it here, and I made these little beauties with it. We're going to take and recycle these into more soft plastics again, so we can take those jig heads right out. Now that this mold is destroyed, you can kind of see how this whole concept's going to work here. There it is. Take that out. We're going to take the eyes out and put them in our eye recycling bucket. And while my regular assistant is doing that, I'm going to put the customary terrible fin rays in our little guy here that really aren't important. So draw a line on the edge of the tail. Just kind of think about this. Yeah, we'll do that right there. So we'll just put 3. I don't think fish can count higher than 3. What are you laughing at? Okay, here, blow that off for me. Blow that off for me. Thank you.
There you go.
Super helpful. All right. Yep, I think that's probably good enough. Plenty of detail here. Plenty of detail here. Scratch that in now. Let's look at, hold on. 1, a little too low. 2, 3. Super non-symmetrical. Okay. Thank you. There you go. Thank you.
Get off dust.
Okay. How's that for non-symmetry? Symmetricless, I think is the word we decided to use, right? Wasn't that it, regular assistant?
Yes, sir.
Eldest regular assistant. We got both youngest and eldest regular assistants here helping observe today. Observe and report, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Who are you reporting to? That's the real question. Thank you. What a job. Okay. So we got one more little teensy weensy fin in here. And I think we're just going to outline it. I don't think we're going to put fin rays on it, okay? It might be too much like work to do that. You might have to be good at this kind of thing in order to actually get fin rays in something that small. Super duper. All right, look at it. I messed that guy up for no reason. Okay. So there it is. That's all our detail. We put a little bit of gill enunciation in there. Did the eyes. The eyes have it. That joke kills in Congress, by the way. Here. Okay, that's our detail. My regular assistant, eldest regular assistant here, is helping me melt this soft plastic slowly but surely. And we'll be back when it's ready to go. Okay, so while that's melting, I had a technique before where I was suspending these jig heads with little bits of wire like this. And I found an easier way while I was making them for this video, making a little test run for it. So I will show you that in just a second. If your cavity or your fish, whatever, is longer, then you're absolutely going to need that. But luckily, this one is small enough that it turns out I was able to just pour a little bit of plastic, lay the jig head in it, and then it worked. So again, we are coating this, if I could speak, with petroleum jelly as our mold release. And we've got our little tub over here.
Teeny weeny tub.
We've got to get a little on the top in case there's some over spillage, which there usually is. Keep checking on that plastic. Plastic is ready. All stirred up, nice and silvery. This has a lot of mica powder in it from a lot of different remelts. I try to keep them all silver that go in this one. Okay, put this together. Just clamp, please. Thank you. I feel like a surgeon. Clamp. Okay. What's up, Doc? Oh, that's what the sturgeon said. Okay. So, we're going to put a layer in. Top pour. Nice and genteel.
2-pour top pour mold.
Okay. Now we're going to take our black jig head here. And we are going to just drop it down in there. Just let it set for a second. Now it's already holding itself up straight. So now we're going to finish this. And aside from that mess, that was pretty perfect. Yes, we can fix it. Okay, so now we're going to let this cool, and then we'll demold it and show you what you got. Thank you. Okay, it's only been a few moments, but I guarantee you this is dry enough to move. Okay, it doesn't look like much coming out of the mold. I don't know why things are falling all over the shop here, but it doesn't look like a lot coming out of the mold. We're going to put it in the water. Actually, disregard that last step. We're not going to put it in the water until we clear dip it. We're going to set it over here to dry. That was almost a problem because remember, if I had put it in the water and then tried to clear dip it, we would have had it in a poppy, nasty, explosive mess on our hands because oil and water do not mix. So let's get this ready for number 2, which is 2. You know this was a bilingual channel, huh? I don't know what that second language was supposed to be. Okay, ready to go. Slap it back together. Put on this. Zap dap do. Again, we got our hot plastic. Just a little bit. Just enough to make a little nest for the jig head to sit in. Remove the safety gloves. And then place the jig head down in the plastic. And it's going to sink a little bit, but that's perfect though. This weed guard is off to one side, which is probably why that was getting hung up today. All right, now that it's set just enough, we're going to get our plastic again. And we're going to finish this pour. And that's that. Okay. I definitely poured this way worse than the world's worst fishing guy. And probably the world's worster fishing.
Now you're the best.
Which sounds maybe like a German sausage or something. But, so again, we're going to let that guy cool. And then we'll take it out and we'll show you what we got. It's had plenty of time to cool. Shazam! And whammo. Just like that. There's our fish. Ready to go. Put it over here. Maybe I should put it on camera there, regular guy, so that the regular viewers can appreciate its gloriousness. Just kidding, guys. I'm not quite that full of myself. But there those are, and I'm going to do just a couple more for you, and then we'll move on to the next step. We're set up again. I'm trying to pour one more time. Okay, get off to the side. There it is. It's embedded, but it's not all the way to the bottom. And then some people pride themselves on not getting overspill on the mold, and I don't even think I try. I think I just do it anyway and just cut it off in the end. I just can't seem to ever stop right when it gets to that critical point there. Start to look so good, and then you just lose focus. Oh well, can't win them all, right? Okay, ready to demold again. And I'm handy with the scissors, so I don't mind trimming that up. But that was another good one. So the next step with this mold is going to be that I will cover it in my favorite permanent mold release, which is polyurethane. Because I do know this one works. I got to try it today. Or at least the gar like it. I know that much. Messed that one up, but I'm able to save it because we had the weed guard on there. Poured too much plastic in it, so I'm just holding the jig head up a little bit, and it's working out pretty well. It's set right in the right place. Just off to one side a skosh, but it'll work out fine in the end. Point is, this stuff is pretty forgiving. So even when you're, as one subscriber pointed out, hack job making lures like this, which I thought was pretty comical, because that's what it is. It's lure making hackery. It still works out, and we're going to get a nice product in the end. So that's all that matters. You can see how that's come out. We've got our little detail back there, a little tail, spot for our eye. Not too bad. Pretty easy peasy for a piece of plaster and a little piece of garbage wood. And a hack. A lure making hack. Maybe I'm just a regular lure making hack. I could handle that title. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for the support, as always. I know I keep saying that, but it's just truly unbelievable. The people that tune in to watch me make this garbage in my garage. And it is a lot of fun. Okay, so this one is going to be just a skosh different. I've used that word way too much this time. I got these jig heads for the kiddos to put some smaller stuff on for them. They were fairly inexpensive on the Big River website. I don't know why I keep saying that anymore, because people got confused. That's Amazon. I'm I'm not sponsored by Amazon. I'm not affiliated with Amazon. I've never been to the Amazon. But anyway, I buy stuff from the Amazon. I don't think it actually comes from Brazil, but that's not important. Anyway, these were cheap. I got them. They work great. And they're going to work for this too. I'm going to make them with clear so that you'll be able to see the color and the eyeball. And then we'll paint the back of the lure and it'll just look spiffy. Okay. And the reason that I didn't put it in there first is that one is foist. I like that. First is that this mold is so shallow, it was very hard to suspend that jig head in there, and then there'd be enough room to get plastisol underneath it in that void right there. So by pouring it and then placing it in, we encompass this entire jig head. But even if it were to screw up and not have plastisol underneath it like that, it would still be all right because the clear dip afterwards would cover that mistake up. So then why are you wasting time doing this? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Okay. Who knows? It's more fun this way maybe. Okay, we'll let that cool. We'll be right back. Okay, let's see how the clear one came out. Fancy. So if we just brush on just a little bit of color back here, that's going to be a pretty snazzy looking bait. Or at least I think so. But I don't need them. Let's do one more of those just for funsies. And I hope you're having funsies today as well. Slather enough of that junk on there. Don't worry about the stuff over here. Helps when you don't stick the hook in your finger when you're putting it in there. Pro tip for you. It's a lot harder to get the hook in the plastic when it's stuck in your finger. And you make a complete mess of that too. So I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Okay, let's pull this guy out. Be a lot of scissor work on this one. That's all right. We'll trim it up. It'll look great. You'll see. I promise. Just like a sushi chef, we're done. We're going to put our eyes on these guys and paint them up. And then next step is clear dip. We are back with our super hot plastic that I probably shouldn't be holding with my bare hands. But what can you do? And we are ready to employ the Duran method and clear dip these suckers.
Don't forget.
Hey, what are you kids doing?